Planet Vero Studio is powered by the Nolan Group of eXp Realty. MyNextHomeFinder.com.
Welcome to Treasure Coast Community Health. We have 8 locations to serve you better. Our staff is dedicated to help you and your family. Here's your host, Vicki Soulé.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Community Conversations. As always, I've scoured the whole network and come up with another wonderful guest, someone that I am fortunate to work with in a number of collaborative ventures, and that would be Nate Bruckner from the United Way. Welcome, Nate.
Thanks for having me.
Well, it's, as we were saying just before we came online here, this is a wonderful community in that we have volunteers and we have nonprofits and we have a lot of folks who are really vested in making the community even better than it is. And the United Way certainly is one of those organizations.
Well, thank you. TCCH is another one that is pulling many duties within the community. And you're right, our community is so blessed with so many great organizations and so many folks willing to give of their talent, their time, and their dollars to help this community grow.
And speaking of that, it's not on our to-do list of conversational items, but the United Way actually has a roster of things that people can know about and volunteer for. And we're going to talk about one of those or more today. But I just think that directory being there is such a great thing for people to know about as they move into town, because every location is different. And we have some really special things going on here. Yeah,
volunteerindianrivercounty.org has kind of been a blessing. We've actually been in the process, the discussion process about how we can revamp it, make it a little more seamless, so folks can access it a little bit better. But yeah, we wanted a place where folks could go to a central location to figure out how they can help.
Yeah, it used to be in the newspapers in the olden days.
Right.
But now people go, what's a newspaper? I don't get those. Is that what you wrap the fish in?
My boys can't be paper boys anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So I was over at the United Way the other day, and I was amazed at how much foot traffic there was in and out. So tell us what's going on at your building on 14th.
VITA, Voluntary Income Tax Preparation. One of the great direct services that United Way does. But we do income tax preparation for folks making under $58,000. We do it for free. We've actually been booked up now for over 2 weeks, which is kind of a record for us.
Yeah.
And tax filing day for all those out there, April 18th. Don't forget it. But we've been booked up since late March.
Wow. Any openings left?
None. And we had 5 locations this year.
Wow.
In Indian River County. So it was...
Congrats to all those volunteers.
Oh, my goodness. And they have been phenomenal. We've had site coordinators that are doing double, triple duties. The tax preparers have been knocking out returns and really just some great folks that we have working with us and helping out the community.
Yeah, that's a huge help because it's just another way to spend money you don't have.
Yeah.
And yet the consequences of not filing accurately or on time, who can argue with that?
Well, and the dollars are coming in an opportune time for these folks. They're either maybe late on some rents, and we all know what the housing crisis is in our local community. So any dollars that they can get right now are just so welcome.
Well, now I know that the United Way last year published what the refunds amounted to. Do you also count the number of clients that you're able to help?
We do. Last year we were a little over, I want to say around about 1,300.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, hopefully this year, knock on wood, will be over 1,500.
Wow. That's phenomenal.
I don't have those numbers.
You don't?
All right. Random access memory.
I was going to say, you were coming, right?
But no, the goal is to help as many people as possible. And we're not even counting the folks that we're unable to serve, but we're trying to help file extensions for, to give them a little break.
So I was just going to ask, were you limited in terms of space or number of volunteers?
Number of volunteers and available appointments that we had during the day. We were working 6 days a week through the various locations. But Literacy Services was a great partner. FACT, Fellsmere Action Committee, was a great partner with us. United Against Poverty, huge with their location. Sebastian, North County Library was a spot for us. So really a lot of great partners coming together to try and service every area.
So do volunteers need to have experience as tax preparers, or is there a prep class? Or both?
A little bit of both. We do get a lot of retired CPAs that come in, but even when they're retired, they still have to go through the IRS. They have to get a certification in order to be a preparer. So we're not just throwing people out there. The IRS has vetted them. They've had background checks. Obviously, identity theft is a big issue, so we want to make sure our folks are legit. They've been screened and know what they're going to be doing.
So with that kind of preparation before tax season starts, and that is a family euphemism because my husband's an accountant. We couldn't get married until after tax season. But in any event, the preparation for that then starts in the fall, I presume?
We actually start trying to recruit in August.
Okay.
And then
not too far away from now.
Right. So we're always looking for folks that want to help out with VITA and help tax. And they don't necessarily have to just do taxes. We can have site coordinators. We can have greeters, because we're getting to the point where we've got such foot traffic that we have to have someone greet them, let them, give them the process on what's going to happen, let them fill out the forms that they need to form, because it's the IRS. Yeah. You have to have forms, right? Right. Kind of get all the groundwork laid, and so they can go to the preparer, and it's a more seamless transition to get them in and out and moving on with their lives. So
if you are interested at the possibility, but you're a snowbird that maybe is on your way out of town but not intending to come back until fall, how can they get a hold of you, Nate?
Give us a call. Talk to Stacy Benezra. Stacy, you can reach her. Phone is 772-567-8900. Or you can go on our website and look for volunteer opportunities, and tax preparer is one of them. So awesome. UnitedWayIRC.org. That's our website.
Okay. I know that there's a lot of giving people out there, and it's not like a full-time job. They can set their hours, their availability.
Absolutely.
It's just a screening process you have to be on top of before January.
We want to get to know you a little bit.
Okay. Sounds real good. So we were over there also for the Tyson Teens opening, as it were, for the April Children Abuse Prevention. I've screwed this up.
Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Thank you.
There we go.
And that, again, just shows the support of all that United Way does for families and trying to make things right. So I'm looking forward to those pictures, by the way.
Yeah, that was fun. That was well attended. A great group that came out. It's
well, we're seeing the spinners all around town, the pinwheels.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. You want to have that awareness. It's a shame that we have to have that awareness, but really, everyone that's coming together to form that bond on this issue is just really amazing.
So again, a lot of it is a lot of fluff and fanfare in terms of the awareness, but there are specific steps that can be taken if you are aware of an unstable situation, or if you are a part of an unstable situation that may eventually result in potential child abusing situations. Reach out. There's a lot of resources in the community that are handling not just Tyson Teens, but are handling more adult situations, Treasure Coast Community Health, as well as the Mental Health Association, the University of Florida, Legacy. We have a number of different units that are all working together to help coping mechanisms for parents and children. Because as you and I talked on our way in the door today, the stress levels are so high, the uncertainty, the changes, the violence that we're seeing.
Oh, the substance abuse. And the main message is it's okay to ask for help. It really is. There is no shame in asking for help. If you know that you are going through something, ask for the help.
And
there's a lot of resources.
Exactly. And every single resource that I've named, including the United Way, handles it very confidentially. I know there is that feeling of shame and not wanting to bring it out in the open, but, there is no perfect human. And
Lord knows that I'm not.
And I think it's a very rare family that says, I don't have any of those problems in my nuclear family or extended family or whatever. We're all affected in some way. So again, I second your issue there. Reach out. There's
a lot of growth when you admit that you need help.
Absolutely.
You can make a lot of growth as a family.
Absolutely. So what else is going on over at United Way? I know that this is normally the giving season for a lot of grant makers, and the United Way gives out nice grants. It's grant season
for a lot of funders out there. United Way. This is our time where we get to spend the money. So we've got a lot of great agencies out there. We fund in 3 impact areas: education, health, and financial stability.
And that fundraising is really a corporate exercise in the fall and through the holidays, correct?
It's a 3-phase process. So we have individual donors that we talk to throughout the county. We've got what are called workplace campaigns.
Okay. That's the one I'm familiar with.
Yeah, there you go. And TCCH has always been a great supporter of us, so can't thank you enough for that. And Publix. Publix is a very large.
They stand on their own.
Yeah, and then we've got some really great folks in our the Tocqueville Society that are just so generous and so involved. And so they kind of all come together to form our campaign.
Okay. What was the goal this year? Offhand?
I don't. That one we kind of kept in house.
Oh.
But we're doing great. Everyone has really come together. I know that there's been a lot of discussion out there about fundraising for nonprofits. But I think folks are kind of holding their own. There's a lot of extra work that goes on. There's a lot of one-on-one contact that needs to happen now. Donors want to know how effective their dollar is these days.
Sure.
They want to make sure there's good transparency with agencies. And that's kind of where United Way comes in with a lot of our due diligence process through our citizen review process.
So tell us about that.
So that's nonprofit agencies. We're funding health and financial stability impact areas this year.
Okay.
But agencies apply to us. They come in with a grant application that is, very long. They give us a lot of great information. And then we bring in volunteers from the community, those with business experience, those that are interested in learning more about their community, those with program experience to come read these grant applications, visit with the agencies, and ultimately make recommendations as to the quality of funding that these agencies would receive from United Way.
Well, I'm going to hold us up right here so that we can have a word from our sponsors, speaking of grants and things like that. And then we'll be back in a few minutes and we'll talk a little bit more about those things and more. The new year is underway, and it's time to schedule your annual physical. This quick, comprehensive visit can uncover diabetes, high blood pressure, and even cancer, ultimately saving your life. Treasure Coast Community Health waives Medicare deductibles and offers a sliding fee scale discount, so everyone can afford to take care of their health. We can't fix what we don't know. Let's work together to make a healthier community. Call us today at 772-257-TCCH. We're a nonprofit.
They say a good contractor is hard to find until they find us. Hi, this is Greg, owner of Workhorse Residential Contractor. If you've got a job to do, call Workhorse. We can remodel your whole home, your bathroom, your kitchen, or even just put a fresh coat of paint on whatever you need. We'll give you a fair price, and we always show up on time. We're not handyman, we're licensed and insured contractors. We serve up to Sebastian and down to Fort Pierce. If you've got a job to do, call Workhorse. Find us on Facebook. Workhorse Residential Contractor.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats, and chairs, including lots of slipcover styles from Universal Upholstery, Four Seasons, and Capri. At Sunshine Furniture, we have a gallery of Tommy Bahama and Lexington designed for a relaxed approach to the finer things in life. Right now, we have selected groups marked down for our spring clearance, and also all pictures, lamps, and accessories are half price. Sunshine Furniture, $12.95 US 1 in Vero Beach, next to Planet Fitness. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com and visit our outlet and closeout store directly across the street.
Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Have a sunshine day. Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Have a sunshine day. Sunshine.
And welcome back to Community Conversations. If you're just joining us, my name is Vicki Soule. I'm the CEO of Treasure Coast Community Health. And if you're a newcomer to town, I would like to add that we are a federally qualified health center that provides medical, dental, behavioral health, lab, x-ray, pharmacy, sort of a one-stop shopping for all of your healthcare needs, whether you're very small and just learning how to walk, or very old and still struggling to walk upright, like some of us are getting. So we have wonderful staff, and we collaborate with a lot of wonderful organizations around the community here. And one of those is the United Way. So Nate Bruckner from the United Way Outreach. What's your official title, Nate?
Director of Community Impact.
Oh, I wasn't even
Is
close.
the official. You're there.
So Nate and I have worked on a number of projects together, most recently the community school at Dodgertown Elementary. And that model is so successful that there are other places looking at similar things because supporting a school in the community really addresses some of the barriers to learning. So the wellness component, additional volunteers, funding, all of those things make for a stronger school. So that's been our initiative together.
Wraparound services.
Wraparound services, you
That's
got
the
it.
key.
Yeah. And so Nate has been explaining to us how the United Way grant making process works, because we do have a lot of nonprofits in the area, and united together, we know that we're all stronger. And so the United Way campaign in Indian River County kicks off each fall. Sometimes they announce the amount of the goal. I asked Nate. He said, can't tell you that. But I understand, because we're in constant change since COVID has hit us. A lot of that change is very stressful. We don't need to add more stress by saying, we're $100 short or whatever by having a specific goal. So thank you. We all need to look for more stress reducers instead of additives. It is a very tough time for a lot of folks around the country.
Sure.
Just listen to the news, right?
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Try not to listen to the news. More
exactly.
like it.
Oh, my goodness.
It's tough out there.
It is.
Families have a lot to deal with.
They do. And, there were a few blessings out of COVID. As I said to you, I can finally talk to people around the country without getting this huge minutes bill because we're on Zoom. But there's a lot of other negatives to it as well. But one of the things that I think all of us need to work on personally and professionally is that feeling of helping others. It gets us out of our own mindset. It makes some of our own troubles less in your face, in your brain at 3 a.m. By doing something for others. And the United Way has had a day of caring for many years. So tell us about that past, present, and maybe future.
So great event. One of the big things that we've always tried to preach is exactly what you said, giving back to your community. And this was started decades ago as a way for someone who might not have the financial resources to come out and still feel like they are contributing to society, to better a group.
Time, talent, and treasure is what makes it go around.
And this is a way for parents to engage with their kids. This is a way for schools to engage with parents. There's so many different levels of engagement that this event brings to the community. And in the past, we've gotten as high as 1,200 volunteers in a day. COVID kind of hurt us a little bit.
A lot. A lot. We couldn't put people together.
Exactly. And knock on wood, everything holds, and we'll be able to get back to having a full-scale event this year. And
do you normally have it in the spring or the fall? I forgot.
It's usually in the fall. We still try and do it when it's relatively cool or getting cool. But, the school district has always been a great partner. Publix has always sent a lot of teams out. Piper. A lot of the big employers really find good value in this as a team building exercise. Mm-hmm. And it's fun just to come out, and we encourage people, nonprofits, to come to us with projects that they're just thinking about now. Let's start the game planning now.
No, I agree. That's awesome. I usually get the word like 2 weeks before because all of my staff have talked about it, and they don't want to bother the boss. They've already figured out what they want,
By the way, we have to come up with something tomorrow.
Yeah. By the way, we have all these wonderful volunteers and we only had 2 projects. And it's like, okay. But they've been wonderful. The volunteers and our staff come out together. You can't have a team without team exercises, okay?
Absolutely.
Of some kind. And being able to work together, see what you started with, see what you end up with is phenomenal, whether it's painting or throwing some mulch and some plants down, beautifying the outside, planting trees. There's just, I can remember playground projects.
The
first
a lot of free labor.
Yeah, but yes and no. The good thing is all the nonprofits realize that it is a very generous thing on the part of community members, and so paying for the supplies and those kinds of things. Home Depot has been phenomenal in all of your Day of Caring events.
Absolutely.
Not only teams, but again, reduced merchandise and all of those things. And I think that's what keeps the community feeling beautiful and special. So I'm hopeful that we can get back to some of that, even if it's smaller groups, perhaps. I don't know.
Jinx it. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
I don't know what's being discussed at your United Way board level, but it certainly does make a difference. And it makes us all invested that much more in the success of Indian River County, whether you live in the south, the north, the middle, the west, which is growing by leaps and bounds. And so I think for those of us who have lived here a long time, that's really important, because when you go onto social media, you will see, are you having trouble finding things? I-95 North is here. And it's like, really, that's so mean. But, we don't want the flavor of this wonderful place to change. And change is scary. So we love all of our visitors, even if they become permanent residents. I do want to add that in.
Absolutely.
Because I was adopted in from Michigan some many, 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 many years ago. So
I was born and raised in Nevada.
Well,
yeah, we came back here in '89.
Yeah, there you go. See, there's very few that can claim perfect rights to. I was born and raised here, fourth generation. But it does help us engage in creating a new vision together in terms of supporting the nonprofits that are supporting the community. With all kinds of resources.
Yeah, and a lot of the times the volunteers, they take that agency to heart and they want to get involved. Agencies need board members. They need regular volunteers.
Yes, we do.
And this is a good engagement and good touch points where they can engage, potential donors.
Absolutely. So thank you for teaching us today about all the things that United Way has got going. And
it's always great to see you.
Come back anytime, Nate. Anytime at all.
Thank you.
For those of you that have stayed with us to the end, thank you. I know sometimes listening to us go on may be less interesting than other times, but I appreciate your support and your caring. So have a great evening.